Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to the Minecraft Survival Guide. I hope you guys are having a good day. Today, we're going to embark on a particularly strange mission. It's kind of a challenge to myself, I guess. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while, and it's also something I think is going to wrap up our activities in the end, at least as far as the central end island goes, because as I've mentioned in previous episodes, we only have 2 full dragon fights left before we have generated all 20 gateways out to the outer end islands, and at that stage I kind of want to be done with the Ender Dragon fight. It's cool to revisit the dragon fight every now and again. It means we can do some cool stuff like generating the End Crystal that we have here, and thank you guys so much for all your suggestions on that episode. I will be sorting through them and hopefully picking something, or at least adapting one of the ideas into something that we can do here in the overworld with that End Crystal. But as far as the dragon itself goes, I kind of want to start terraforming that central island, or at least decorating it in some sort of interesting way, and building an end hub around all of those gateways. And for that, I want to be reassured that the dragon is gone for good and that we don't have to respawn it. So before we do that, there are a couple of things I want to do. The first of which is a bit of a challenge to destroy the dragon only using explosives. We're not going to use the swords or the axes. We're not going to use bows or crossbows, except potentially I might use this bow to set some stuff on fire because it's my flame bow, but I will not be attacking the dragon with the bow. Instead, as you might have seen in my inventory just then, I'll be attacking the dragon exclusively with explosive items. I've got some TNT, I've got many more end crystals than I need, and we have the stuff to make some beds, because as we know very well at this point, beds will explode when placed in the end and clicked on by the player, and we're going to use that to our advantage in order to fight the dragon. Now, the dragon's AI in the dragon fight is a little bit weird in Minecraft 1.14, so this might be slightly easier in earlier versions and possibly in later versions if the dragon's AI gets fixed. But right now, in my experience, it doesn't swoop down towards the player as much as it did. So previously, your strategy to fight the dragon would involve kind of baiting it around until it kind of swooped down and attacked you. You'd back off a little way, you'd place a bed, you'd explode it while you were hiding behind a block usually, and that would be the end of that. But we're going to have to play it smart, because that doesn't seem like it's going to be an option this time around. So what we're going to do instead is rely a little bit... Oh, hello. Ghasts don't count. I am going to have to shoot down a couple of ghasts with these arrows, but I'm actually going to have to be a little bit careful because I don't have my elytra right now. I'm wearing my full blast protection armor, mainly because... Oh, there we go, yeah. Mainly because I think we're probably going to detonate a lot of explosions during this fight, and I don't want to end up dying all that much thanks to large bed explosions or end crystals. So having full blast protection while we have access to it seemed like the best sort of plan. So what we're going to try and do is surround the dragon with beds while it is settled down on the bedrock portal, where it can't be attacked by projectiles anyway. Normally you try and go in close and take a swing at it with a sword, but instead we are going to try to explode it with beds. Now, the end crystals present a bit of a problem because they are up on the towers, and for that I have a bit of a solution, and it's a solution that I kind of tried out in a previous series on this channel back in the days of the Division lightly modded SMP, where the dragon fight itself was not modded, and I came up with this. This right here is what I call the halo, and you can kind of see where it got the name. It almost looks like a bit of a ring pull kind of contraption up here in the end, and you might be able to see it from here. I'll give you a quick zoom in a second. There are dispensers placed at certain areas around this circle that I've drawn in the sky above the obsidian towers here in the end. And the purpose of those dispensers is to drop TNT from them down onto each of the end crystals around here as they start to generate. Now, it could just as easily be done with projectiles like snowballs or arrows, but I kind of want to guarantee the accuracy of them, and the thing about these dispensers is that sometimes if you fire an arrow, it's not always going to fly directly down. It might fly a little bit off to one side or to the other. And so TNT is going to generate a large enough explosion that it's going to take out the end crystals all the way around the circle. And we start that off with a chain reaction that begins on this tower, the last tower that regenerates as part of the Ender Dragon's respawn sequence. That is going to send a circle, a circuit, a redstone signal all the way around this ring until it drops TNT on all of the towers in sequence. Let me show you exactly how this is done. So I've got some scaffolding here that I'm going to use because I'm used to using my elytra, but I think for this I am going to need to keep my armor on at all times. By the way, the armor is still on. It's just a weird visual glitch with the armor HUD, which occasionally happens when you go through nether portals. So let me see if I can get up here and show you guys what's going on with this ring up here, because this is something that's a little bit of fun. Obviously, this is something that is not integral to the progression of survival Minecraft, and so it's something that I'm covering in this series just to show you how you can do some fun stuff with this fight, how you can make the survival game your own a little bit and impose some self-inflicted challenges on yourself every now and again. So up here, as you can see, we have a ring of redstone that travels the entire circumference of this circle, and what that's doing is sending a signal with a repeater every 14 or 15 blocks just to make sure that the signal can continue, and it's sending it across each of these dispensers around the outside, and the dispenser will drop some TNT, which it's going to now that I've started to place the TNT in here. And that is going to be triggered by that tower. Like I said, that is the last tower in the entire respawn sequence, and hopefully that should give the dragon enough time to regenerate here before it starts dropping TNT on everything. The idea being that, much like the last episode, the tower, when it regenerates the crystal, is going to eliminate any blocks 10 blocks out from that bedrock, and that includes upwards as well as from side to side. So that wood block there is potentially going to get destroyed by an explosion, by the end crystal regenerating here, and that's going to send a signal to those leaf blocks, thanks to them being removed from being a certain distance away from that log. It's going to trigger the observer, and the observer is going to light up the redstone signal all the way around here, and that's going to drop TNT out of these dispensers each time the redstone signal reaches them. And when I originally did this on the Division SMP server, that leaf mechanic wasn't in the game, so I kind of had to do a little bit of guesswork about which tower was going to be first in the sequence, and also exactly how the redstone timing was going to work. So a few details of that were a little bit hazy, and it sort of worked. So I feel like now I've kind of refined the method of doing it. It should be pretty straightforward. And you might wonder, isn't the dragon going to fly up here and sort of destroy this whole ring? Potentially, yes, but in theory, the dragon shouldn't fly above a certain height, and when all of the end crystals have been destroyed, which is basically going to be immediately when it respawns, the dragon tends to stick within the radius of the pillars. Once again, like I said, the dragon's AI is kind of goofed up right now, so I don't know if it's going to behave as I expect it to, but for the most part, this should be a pretty foolproof plan. And to be honest, if part of the ring gets destroyed by the dragon, if the dragon flies through it, and because these aren't blocks native to the end, it eliminates those blocks, oh well. The damage will already have been done. We'll have gotten one good use out of this thing. You'll be able to see it in action, and from there we can just carry on and fight the dragon as we normally would. Except we're not really going to be fighting the dragon as we normally would, because as I said, we're going to be fighting it with beds and explosives. We need 4 end crystals to respawn the dragon. I have 34 TNT left, which I can pack into the end portal when it is not full of this kind of portal material. Once the dragon respawns, that portal goes away, so you can't return to the overworld until you have killed the dragon. So what we can do is plant some TNT down there, light it with a flame bow or with a flint and steel, and then run away, get a safe distance away while the dragon is hovering over the portal. Hopefully it takes some damage from that. Likewise, if we've got obsidian all over the place, we can place some end crystals, and if you place one of those near the dragon, you should be able to blow that up with a bow from a distance as well. Our other option, like I said, is using beds, and beds are the most volatile and dangerous of all of them to the player, because not only do they explode with about the force of an end crystal, you have to explode them manually by right-clicking on them, and they're also gonna set fires basically everywhere. Like they will cause fire all around us. So if, for example, something goes wrong and I get blown up by the bed, then potentially some of my stuff is going to go in the fire and get destroyed. So the beds, while they should be kind of like a last-ditch, a last resort kind of weapon, I kind of want to play with them a little bit, like just once or twice, just to see if we can really do some heavy damage to the dragon up close. Now, in order to make this whole process a little bit safer for us, because as I said, the beds are going to explode violently and it's going to take out some of the terrain around here as well, I'm going to make the terrain a little bit more explosion-proof by lining it with obsidian. That way, there will be fires set, but we won't end up, like, falling down into the room that I've dug out below here, where we have cheesed the wither a couple of times, And I'm thinking what we might do is create a little obsidian barrier around the end portal itself. And that way we can hide behind it a little bit when we are ready to set off explosives in the vicinity of the dragon. I might leave a hole somewhere around here, maybe on a corner or something like that, so that we can just sneak around, click on a bed or something like that, and potentially even place TNT and end crystals in here. So if I cut out this block here, if we take that away and then continue ringing this with obsidian, maybe we will have a chance at blowing up the dragon a little bit more safely than we otherwise would. But if you know anything about explosions in Minecraft, you will know that they can affect blocks that are on diagonals and blocks that are, technically behind blocks which are blast proof. So in the case of blowing up beds in the vicinity of this portal, it is probably going to damage the terrain around the outside of here. So we should bear that in mind, and we should probably blast proof a fair amount of this around the outside. Now, even though this is player placed obsidian, the dragon is not going to be able to destroy it, because obsidian is one of those materials that if you look at it in the F3 screen, that targeted block there on the right hand side, it says it is tagged as dragon immune, meaning the dragon cannot destroy it. So obsidian becomes a very useful material for us here, being both blast proof and something that the dragon cannot just wipe out whilst we're fighting it. Now, one last thing before we get going here, I am going to have to craft the beds as I go, because beds, if you'll remember, do not stack in your inventory. You can only carry them one at a time in individual spaces of your inventory, so I can't just carry around a stack of 64 beds. So instead, what I'm going to do is pop down a crafting table as I go during the fight. I'm going to have to pick it up again here and there as well, and then I'm going to have to craft beds one at a time as I go. We'll start off by making a few, and then we'll see how we get on from there. But we will have enough materials here for a stack of beds, which should be enough to dispatch the dragon if we are smart about it. So without further ado, we're going to start up the dragon fight. I am going to log out very quickly and switch on the replay mod so that you guys will be able to see a little bit more of the angles of what goes on during this fight, because if this all goes to plan, I think it's going to be pretty cool. Okay, folks, the replay should have started now. You should be able to see a little bit more of the battlefield. I am going to place down the 4 end crystals and respawn the dragon for not quite the final time, but one of the last, and definitely one of the most explosive. And with any luck, the respawn sequence should happen starting with that tower. Yes. Okay, there we go. The towers will regenerate in their usual sequence, and then once we get to that last tower, things are about to get started. We're going to hopefully see all of the TNT drop on each of these in sequence. This is going to be pretty spectacular if it works out. There we go, and the TNT is falling, and the dragon should be respawning now. Okay, it looks like a couple of the crystals didn't quite get it. We messed up a little bit on the redstone timing, but that is fine. I need to get myself up there with some scaffolding and take out the end crystals, which I will try and do with other end crystals if I can. Or at least maybe we can light these things up from a distance. We will see. Right, let's get the scaffolding on the go. Hopefully we should be able to pillar up there before the dragon notices what we're doing. Giving it my best shot up here. And it looks like this crystal here is still alive. Oh gosh, okay, the dragon is shooting at me. I'll need to make a... Oh, okay, that one whiffed. Fantastic. All right, let's start the TNT here. Let's set that alight and make our exit. Whoa, there we go. Yes. So that's that crystal taken care of. Let's see if we can take out the one that's up there. You know what? I might just shoot this one with a bow. I've got my flame bow on me. Might as well make a shot through the iron bars down there. Very, very good. So now the dragon should no longer have any crystals remaining. I think we managed to take out that one over there through the iron bars. But that was pretty good. Not bad for a first try. We could tweak a couple of the repeaters to give us a little bit more delay, and that might work out. But the dragon does not seem to be flying up above the ring. It doesn't seem to be damaging the halo at any point. So this is perfect. All right, let's see if we can plant a couple of things over on the end portal. Now, I am a little bit concerned that the dragon might swoop down and might actually take out some of this stuff. Especially the end crystals. Like it might be, if it swoops down. Oh, yep, no, it's definitely attacking the halo now. It took a mighty chunk out of that one. Oh, well, there goes my theory. But maybe we could build the whole thing a little bit higher, and we wouldn't have to worry too much about that. We could potentially trigger stuff with a redstone torch tower or something like that, maybe. Something that was easy to replace, considering you need to replace the trigger for this anyway. But if the dragon starts to come down at any point, which hopefully it should, yep, this is the behavior I've seen it do. It starts to kind of wiggle around over the top of the thing as it's coming down over the end portal. So hopefully we should see it not delete that end crystal when it gets there. And, oh, it's actually regenerating stuff from the end crystals. So maybe it's a bad idea using the end crystals in this fight. Well, hopefully it should still do a little bit of damage if we end up exploding it like that. Yes, right underneath it. Let's see if we can place a couple more of those on the obsidian around it. And before it regenerates too much, we'll do a little bit more damage. As long as we can do that damage from a distance, we're regenerating its health, but we are dealing more damage than it regenerates, which is always helpful. If I can get my bow out, that would help too. There we go, and the dragon is off. It has had enough of that beating. Gosh, okay, and that's been pretty kind to the portal, it looks like. Hopefully we should get the same results if I place a bed back there. So let's give the beds a try. Obviously we'll have to make sure our blast protection armor is well equipped, and hopefully that should give us a little bit of immunity from that. The dragon hasn't done any more damage to the halo, which is good news so far. We could potentially just repair that one divot it's taken out of it, and it should start to circle around again and come back down to the bedrock portal, and that's where we can make our attack with the beds. But when you've challenged yourself not to actually fight the dragon through conventional means, when you're not able to fire arrows at it or anything, there is a lot of waiting around for it to arrive, and it's really not coming anywhere close. Like, the best shot we could have at it right now would be if we were on top of that obsidian pillar that it is circling over, and it doesn't seem to be an ideal location. But the dragon is coming down now. Let's see which direction it faces. Hopefully, should be able to sneak around behind it. There we go. Yes, all right. Now let's try the bed method, and let's see how we get on with this. This is potentially... Whoa, okay, not good. Yeah, that was a lot of full damage. So apparently that catapults me into the air, and then an Enderman takes a liking to me. This is not a great situation to be in right now. I really badly need to heal up. I need to get the water buckets on my bar, and I think I will definitely avoid using beds until the very end of the fight now, if I possibly can, because that was scary as all heck. I think the bed might have exploded and catapulted me into the dragon, and that might be what flung me into the air, because I have not seen beds do that when they explode. And I didn't seem to take any damage from the bed. All the damage I took was from the fall. Maybe we can try that if I've got the water bucket handy on my hotbar. But I probably need to move the flint and steel. We'll try the bed method one more time. As long as I don't look at any Endermen, we should be fine. The dragon is circling a little high right now, and oh gosh, it's eating huge chunks of the halo. It has had enough, and the dragon is not programmed to go after blocks like this or anything, so it really isn't acting on any kind of, like, programmed impulse. That's just the flight path that the game is generating for it. It doesn't really have anything to do with there being alien blocks there. Now it looks like it's coming down. It's doing its weird kind of flipping over and over in the air, trying to get back down to the portal. And gosh, there are so many fires around this thing that I should probably put out if we're going to attempt the bed method again. Let me get my bucket of water ready. Let me grab my chicken, make sure I am full up, and let's see if we can sneak around the dragon and do this one again. Bam! There we go, and a little bit of a shorter flight into the air for me that time. Let's see if we can take one more bed and try and get that in before the dragon flies away one more time. One more bed, go on. Yes, there we go. Okay, I took a little bit of fire damage there, but we are fine, and the dragon is almost halfway dead at this stage. Man, the beds leave a lot of fire in this area, though. Let's try an end crystal real fast before it flies away. Yes, okay. Almost at half health, the dragon now, and if we take out one more end crystal while it's still there... Okay, that is the dragon off into the air once again. We are at half health, folks. We are almost there. Okay, it's coming back down to breathe once again. I will probably try and make a couple more beds when it flies off again, just so that I have a little bit more ammunition in the fight here. But let's see if we can put down an end crystal on top of the obsidian. Oh gosh, it's difficult to place it under certain areas of the dragon. It actually won't let you place it if it's in an area the dragon is going to potentially destroy. We can't leave these crystals here for too long, remember, because, yeah, they are going to do a little bit of regeneration to the dragon as well as damage it when we eventually blow it up. So let's try and place one underneath its feet right here. Nope, it doesn't look like it's letting us place it in either of those locations. All right, we're going to have to back off a little bit here. We're going to have to back off, and I will try and make a couple of beds in a second. Or maybe we could try and place some TNT if the end crystals aren't going to work out for us here. Yep, while the dragon is away, let's see if we can put the TNT down here and see if we can take that out with a flame bow when the dragon is next on the portal. It probably won't take damage from multiple TNT explosions, but yeah, it should hopefully take a little bit of damage if we can get a flame bow or some other kind of incendiary in there. We might have to trigger a chain reaction from the side I left open earlier. Always got to keep an eye on where the dragon is during this fight, though, and it looks like it might end up biting out another chunk of the halo. Let's see. Let's put down the crafting table, make ourselves a couple more beds. I'll go for 5 this time, just so I've got that ammunition ready and waiting. And I think we should be able to trigger a chain reaction of that TNT if I can just place a little bit more of it in here. That might just be enough. And this time, okay, hopefully the dragon hasn't exploded too much of that TNT, and let's see if we do enough damage right here. Nice, that actually did really well. That took out more than I was expecting it to, and I think if we come around the back here, we might be able to place another one of our exploding beds. Let's see if we can get this under the dragon's feet. There we go, yes. Oh, and the dragon is away again, having taken a little bit more damage. I am thankfully not feeling the effect too badly at this stage. So hopefully I should be able to last out this fight as long as I keep healing. As long as I don't look at too many more Endermen. That might be the death of me if I'm not too careful. Come back down, dragon. Stop going after my redstone and come after me. I think we might be able to pop down a little bit more TNT before it finishes its descent. Let's see if we can, yeah, just pop down a little bit more right there on the edge of the portal. And once the dragon reaches the portal and starts flapping its wings, we will do our thing. There we go. Trigger that with the TNT. A few more explosions to go. Okay, that's the dragon almost at no health left. And I wonder if we can finish it off with a couple of well-placed beds. It would be so funny beating the dragon with just a bed. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, only one more bed, and I think we should be there. Maybe 1 or 2. And I've got a couple in my inventory, so we should be able to place one right here underneath the dragon's legs. And hopefully, let's quickly eat some chicken before it flies away again. Bang! Okay. And that is it. That is the dragon taken care of. Wow. That was quite the challenge. It definitely got a little bit easier as we went there. It definitely got a bit easier when the dragon was coming down to the bedrock portal more regularly, and the fires around here that I'm putting out right now are absurd. This is why I didn't want to right-click on any of the beds in the end village that we made, because I knew that this was going to be the result. But man, that was it. We beat the dragon without using our weapons in the conventional sense, at least. We beat the dragon without swords, without shooting arrows at it. We didn't even use snowballs or anything. We beat the dragon with explosives and nothing else. And beds, I guess. Beds played a pretty important role in that as well. And I think the fire has actually destroyed most of the experience I would have got from that fight. But I got 79 levels anyway. I don't care. Man, that was good. And yes, the Halo has had a pretty massive chunk taken out of it over there. Like I said, it was only ever meant to be a one-off thing. If the dragon was going to destroy it, then we would at least take out a ton of the end crystals automatically before we did. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of inspiration for how you can make the dragon fight a little bit more challenging. If it becomes routine for you, then mix it up and have fun with it. I think that's the most important part. Now, we should have another end gateway over here. I'm pretty sure that that is the only one that we have left to generate. I think we have just had one generate over there. That might be it. That one in the middle there. But either way, we only have one more end gateway left. So I think what I will do, since I've still got 11 end crystals left, I might get my elytra out, and we're going to fight the dragon one last time on my terms. We're going to do it the way that I like to do it. I'm going to be flying around with elytra. We've got the replay mod on, so we can record that as well. I'm going to get my infinity bow out, my favorite bow that we can use. And since we have the replay mod running, and since you guys have already heard me talk enough in this episode, I think we're going to make our last ever dragon fight on the Minecraft Survival Guide a little bit more cinematic. And there we go. The last arrow has been fired. The last shot has been taken. The dragon is doing its defeat lap. It's kind of the opposite of a victory lap, I guess. And that is it. That might well be the last time we ever fight the dragon in the Minecraft Survival Guide. Our last end gateway has been generated all the way over there. The circle is complete. And now we can do what we want with this place. That's ultimately the goal here, is to make sure that the end is at peace again, and there's no risk of our stuff getting destroyed like the Halo has been up there, so that we can remold this place in whatever shape we want. Now, there is still, I will agree, some merit in respawning the dragon in future. For example, if you want to farm obsidian, having the towers regenerate every time a new fight starts, there is no better way of really farming obsidian renewably in the game than that, because otherwise you have to use lava for it and that kind of stuff. But really, how much obsidian am I going to need throughout the rest of this series? Probably quite a bit, but I think I'll be able to scrape it together where I can. And in the meantime, we'll be able to do what we want with this place. And I have a couple of really great ideas coming up in future. But for now, that is going to be it for this episode of the Minecraft Survival Guide. Thank you, folks, so much for coming with me on this particular journey. We've killed the dragon 20 times total in this world, and that is going to be it for the dragon for now. I won't say forever. I've said forever a couple of times in this video already, I know, but I won't say forever. There might be a return of the dragon at some point in future, if we feel like destroying everything that I have built in the end in the meantime. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on this episode if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.